Okay, good morning, everyone. This is the Diana Wright Show. We welcome you and thank you so much for joining us from around the world and in the United States, wherever you're watching us. And we hope you are watching. And if you're not watching now, then we hope that you'll go to the website at www.dianawrighttv.webs.com later on this evening, and you can see the show and the shows that you've missed. All right, just the way we do it on the reruns. It is Friday, and I'm just thinking and wondering. We started off the week with the word fear, so I'm wondering, what is it in your life that you're fear letting go? What is it? Is it the husband that you're hoping will come back? Is it a friend that you hope will come back? Is it a child that you're hoping will come back home? What is it that you are fearing today in your life, in general, that you're afraid to let go because you believe that you cannot move forward? Well, I'm here to tell you that you just need to tell that thing to stay there, stay asleep, and move on. Keep on pressing. Keep on pursuing. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Maybe you have to cry a little. Maybe you have to suffer a little. Because remember, as I said, when you're promised something, and when you imagine something in your mind about what you are looking for in your life and you want your life to be and to become, you see the end result. You just don't see the hell that you have to go through in the hallway to get there. And that's the reason when we see people shining on television, we shouldn't wonder, yeah, some of them get there because of their dad, like Abby Huntsman, who I'm sure is on MSNBC's cycle because of her dad. And knowing the right people, lots of people get to places because of that. Family, yes, the most incestuous industry is Hollywood. But some have managed to break through and break in and take reins, But what are you holding on to that you actually need to let go? Because when you let go of that thing that you're holding on to and you fear, because you're not supposed to be living in fear. If you're holding on to something and it's not making you fearful, then that's a different story. But if you're holding on to something because you fear not having that thing or that someone in your life. Because remember, if someone comes in your life and they're supposed to stay, they will be there no matter what you go through, what problems you have, what fights you have, whatever happens. If God meant for that person to be in your life, that person is going nowhere. And that's a promise, seriously. But if there's something in your life that you are afraid to let go, because you think, oh, my husband's going to go now and I can't afford to take care of my children and my money and my all of this. Just not go there. Let's just let it go. Let it sleep. And let it be until we have to take a break, and I'll be back in just a moment. Hello everyone, this is a season of giving, and I'm asking you to consider one of your gifts to be Deadly Negligence, written by yours truly, Diana Wright. A story that will give you hope, make you mad, shock you sometimes, but is bound to increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. So please, give Deadly Negligence as a gift, as the gifting season begins to heat up. I am depending on you to do this for me. Thank you so much, and be the proud person to give a gift of the book Deadly Negligence. It's available on Amazon.com and on my website, dianawrighttv.webs.com. Thank you so much for my viewers around the world and in the United States. Be blessed. Okay, we're back, and I just want to start off this morning by, first of all, there's a tweet, racist tweet, sent by Home Depot, someone from Home Depot, and then Home Depot has to come and apologize. So we're starting off with the apologies today. So the fear that you have of letting go, okay, so we go to apologies. What are you apologizing for? If people apologize, this is a problem I have with apology. If you're apologizing because you think it's the right thing to do and you're not really sorry about what happened, you should not apologize. If you're just apologizing because someone else says you should apologize, then you really should say to that person, I don't think I should apologize right now because I'm not feeling that I'm sorry. Speak your truth. And when you're teaching your children and you're asking your children to apologize for things that they did, they need to tell you why they're actually apologizing and find out if they're truly sorry. Because if they're just saying, I'm sorry, you know, like some of these bullies. The other apology we have today, we have one from Home Depot, then we have one from President Barack Obama, who did an interview with Chuck Todd of MSNBC yesterday. And yes, the president apologized. And you can actually see that he is truly sorry and troubled. Just look at his face in that interview when you have time to watch it, because it's online. And then you ask yourself, why is he apologizing? He's apologizing because basically the buck stops with him. But there are other questions and there are other good things that are coming out of the ACA, which everyone is bashing. The media is just, I don't know, Fox News, the rest of the media, including CNN, they will find every bad thing that's wrong with the law. So can we find the things that are good with the law and the things that will eventually happen with the law when it works? I gather it's too late for the states that decline to have their own exchanges, but they can still take the Medicaid expansion. I don't know why that should be, because I think that should be extended so that some of the Republicans could come to their bloody senses and have their own exchanges, because it would obviously be easier for every state to run their own exchange than to have the federal government trying to run all these exchanges. And that was the plan initially. Now, the president is apologizing for the fact that a lot of people are getting notices that they lost their insurance, whether it was crummy or not. And he is vowed to fix it, to go back and look at the law about the grandfather in part, especially, and see what can be done. So if we take history lessons and we look at Social Security and Medicare, which everyone loves right now, except Republicans and Tea Party people who don't think the government should do anything, but they're seeking government jobs, which I find to be totally ridiculous. So the president is promising to fix this thing and make the adjustments that are necessary. But I don't think we should continue to hold a gun to his head like the Republican Party is doing in order to get this fixed. It should not have been a debacle in the first place. But the fact that it is a debacle, do we just try to kill it as opposed to trying to fix it? Shouldn't we be trying to fix things as opposed to being against everything? Just like we should try to love ourselves each day that we wake up, despite the fact that we don't like our noses, or we don't like the color of our eyes, or we don't like the length of our hair. And all these black women who are having hair all the way to their butts. It just seems so extreme and ridiculous, but that's their choice to do so. So they're doing something about the things that they're dissatisfied with. But I'm just simply asking you to love yourself before you start adding things. Because if you don't love who you are, no matter what you add, you still won't love who you are. So if you start from a place of loving yourself first and recognizing that we actually have a day proclaimed for I Love Me Day, which is April 30th, 2014, I just ask you to take a minute and think about that. So as we wrap it into the president's apology, which, I don't know, maybe too late, or it's never too late for an apology if you ask me, if it's sincere. It's the ones that are not sincere that I really don't want to hear. It seems sincere, but let's just watch. And then I question Health Secretary Sebelius why, well, she says all the things that the money was not there to hire the people and whatever, but she should have been the cop herself, making sure that this thing rolls out properly, at least just with a few glitches, but not with a total train wreck. But these things will be fixed. It's just that it should have not been done this way initially. So while it's just, you know, if you have a child that is bad and does bad things all the time, are you going to throw that child out? Some parents do, actually. But you shouldn't. You should pray, and you should continue to try and make that child a better person, a better human being, a better student, whatever it is that they're lacking. Because you have children who are A students and their attitudes are rotten. They talk to their parents any way they feel like. So what are you going to do? Kick the child out? No. You got to sit the child down, get whatever help you need with the child to make the child a better human being. So let us give the President and Secretary Sebelius an opportunity to fix the mess that was made, instead of every day pouncing on it and all the bad things. I saw one person online today talking about getting that watershed moment when she realized that yet she's buying catastrophe insurance, and eventually it will be cheaper under Obamacare because it will be adding things that she would never have had with her policy that she had before. Even though she might have been satisfied with that policy, it wasn't covering things like doctor's visits. How does a plan not cover doctor's visits? That doesn't even make sense. So that plan is a dumb plan. So she's giving the president's plan an opportunity to work, and she's seeing that, yes, even though I'm going to take 3 weeks to hear from, you know, which plan I get, it's an opportunity to get a better plan. I promised I wasn't going to talk about this healthcare thing anymore because it just upsets me to know all the hurdles and the roadblocks that were put in to stop the thing from working in 36 states run by Republicans. So are we going to be a country that continues to just block things and nothing gets done? Because it seems that way to me. Immigration is just off the table. Jobs, ain't nobody care about jobs. As long as Speaker Boehner is scoring and the Tea Party is scoring, who cares about job? And as long as we can know that in January or in February they will lock the government down again and prounce all over the place with Ted Cruz leading the way, who cares? But the most shocking thing for me this week is to see the way jealousy and hate and envy has turned three, especially Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, to see the attacks that they're making on their own party member who won big in New Jersey. Yes, he has all his flaws. He's a little abrasive. And if he didn't get all the Democratic support, he would not have won that big. But my golly, could they even wait until after the midterms next year to start attacking him? No congratulations for you, Governor Christie. you are getting pounced by these people. And Karl Rove, who could not anytime, anywhere predict any election, is talking about Obamacare. He needs to shut up. Chris Christie is being murdered by Rush Limbaugh. Oh my goodness. I almost feel sorry for Governor Christie. It's a good thing he's a guy who is abrasive and can stand up for himself, because otherwise he'd be crying in his soup right now. But aren't we being told that he is now the head of the Republican Party based on the fact that he won so big in Jersey? So if he's the head and he's the one that's doing the best, and they're treating him like dirt, basically, because they're haters, because they're jealous. Are you seeing it now, people? Are you understanding why the Republican Party in 36 states were blocking the exchanges and refusing to expand Medicaid in their states? How this affects the entire federal policy of the ACA? Are we even having a thought about that? So apology accepted, Mr. President, but we just need for you to fix it. And I wish you guys would stop giving dates, because if you give a date and you don't get there, then the Republicans are going to have another field day. Stop giving dates. Just say, we will fix it. And that's good enough. Don't give us a date. And maybe the president need to find a way to say, yes, if you're out there and you're a Republican and you do have and found the heart that you have and found the Jesus that you're always talking about, it's not too late to set up an exchange. Maybe they should do that. Wow, what a hating, non-compassionate nation we've become. With us not even wanting poor people to have a refrigerator? Because if they have a refrigerator, according to Mr. Sean Hannity, that means they should not say they're poor. Wow. What a country. Oh boy. Now, Toronto's mayor, Mr. Ford. I just think that guy needs to resign. Seriously, I don't live in Toronto. I'm not Canadian, but Canadians just need to get him out the way, because it's embarrassing. He's the mayor of Toronto, which is the place. When you talk about, people say Canada, they go Toronto. So what's his next troubles, you might ask? There's a video with him. That means this guy is always drunk and always doing bad things. When does he govern? When does he be mayor of Toronto? So this is what he's done lately. Trending now online. Threatens to kill someone in a video, saying this, and I'm quoting, "He dies or I die. I need effing 10 minutes to make sure he's dead. I'll be over in 5 minutes. When he's down, I'll rip his effing throat out." Oh my God. I read the thing and I kept reading it over and over because I'm like, oh no, he didn't do this. I didn't play the video because I just couldn't stand to see, but then I clicked and I saw he was just a raving lunatic. According to himself, as he calls himself, a drunken stupor. My golly, Toronto, Canada, the cleanest place on the planet, supposedly. Is this who you have as your mayor? Wow. This is indeed Wow Friday, and this is the Diana White Show. We thank you so much for joining us today from around the world and in the United States. But my golly, is this who our politician, and he is a liar on top of it. So he lies unless he's caught on video, but is he the guy that seems to go around and videotape himself every day or something? Wow. So, I see that people are going crazy, especially Republicans, talking about the government is trying to take over everything and tell you how to run your life and all this kind of stuff. And they hate Bloomberg because, Sarah Palin and her big jug of Coke at the last conference, jerrying Mayor Bloomberg. So the FDA has now decided to ban that trans fat. That is a thing that make the food tasty. So all the Republicans are coming out now and they're crazy. They're mad. They're saying, well, the government is coming down again and trying to run our lives. But let me ask you this. Do you want the trans fat in your food? Or would you just prefer to not have the government take it out? And you go and you read the labels and you buy the food that does not have any trans fat. What would you want? Oh my golly. So what if they take out something that's bad for you? What is wrong with that? Everyone has a comment about, oh, they want to wait and see. Oh, and the FDA is the government trying to run our lives again. My golly. What a people. You all are tiring, So, we're going to take another break and we're going to come back in just a moment and talk about the NFL. Jonathan Martin and Mr. Incognito. The bad behaving Mr. Incognito. And then we'll share with you some of the things that Jonathan Martin's attorney is exposing today. So what happens with the Dolphins now is what I ask. And what is the NFL going to do about this nasty image that I always suspected? And that's the reason I don't really watch sports anymore, because these guys get away with murder. They're allowed to do crazy things, abuse women, abuse other people, because they make all this money and they can do what they want. So he drives off in his Ferrari brand new. I don't envy him for one, because I would never own one. Even if I win the lotto, I will not own a Ferrari, because I think it's just a ridiculous car that is too low and can only accommodate 2 people. So watch us take a break and then we come back and we want to talk about the NFL and what it really means for you to be spending all your money to go to these things, watch these men who are behaving like boys play. And I shouldn't even call them boys, because you're hoping that boys are not behaving like that, and we are finding out that they are too. So we'll take a break and come back to you in just a moment. This is the Diana Wright Show, live online. Yes. Hello everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, how rich you are, how poor you are. But there has to be a point in your life, and you will come to that point, where you have to take someone you love to the hospital. But have you ever considered that you could take that loved one, in my case, my only child, to the hospital in a normal state, and then you leave 5 months later, brain damaged, in a wheelchair, without your senses? This is my true story. Deadly Negligence, the book, available on Amazon and at my website dianawrighttv.webs.com. I'm asking you today to get a copy. Support my story. Let us get this out there, because this story will captivate you. It will shock you. It will give you hope. It will increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. Thank you for picking up your copy today. And just in case you know Oprah Winfrey or Tyler Perry or Mr. Levinson, let them know this is worth a movie. Thank you. Get your copy. Alrighty. We are back, and we thank you so much for joining us today inside the Diana Wright Show live. The NFL. Are you kind of curious as to how they're going to handle this whole thing when we are being told that the coaches actually asked Incognito to toughen up Jonathan Martin, the 24-year-old? Okay, so we've learned now, courtesy of Jonathan Martin's attorney, Mr. David Cornwell. New words: malicious physical attacks on Martin and daily vulgar comments directed at Martin, and then also an obscene message about having sex with Martin's sister that was allegedly texted to him by an unnamed teammate. I wonder who that is. All of this being exposed by Martin's attorney. Now we're also finding out a little bit more about Incognito and his bad behavior when he goes to places like a golf tournament in Aventura, Florida, where he actually used his golf club to touch a volunteer's vagina and move it up and down her and touch her face, and then use the golf club to take his glasses off his head. He has not apologized. The young lady complained, and she was told that it was dealt with, or it was going to be dealt with. Other people in the Dolphins apologized to her, but Incognito refused to apologize because he said what he was doing was just in good fun. So do you take a golf club and come near my vajayjay and tell me that was fun, Mr. Incognito? Hell no. Who the hell do you think you are, Mr. Incognito Ferrari driving off person? What is this? Are these guys in the NFL and the NBA just supposed to do whatever they want, and all the rich people too can do what they want? Like the young woman in Detroit that was shot and killed on someone's porch because of the stand your ground law, because she had an accident and was trying to get help. Oh God, who have we become? Society is to blame. And don't tell me that you're conservative and you have this higher moral ground, because you don't. Yeah? You don't. Because all the Republicans who are claiming they're Christians and they are conservatives and they are obsessed with the reproductive rights of women, their vaginas, and their health care, why are they so obsessed with that? And why are they not obsessed with the fact that when those women who are having their abortions have the babies, they have no one to take care of it? We should be obsessing to try to keep our young women to have their legs closed. That's what we should be obsessed with. We should be teaching our young women to love themselves, because if you love yourself, you're truly not going to lie down and give away what God gave you as your gift and your property, because you love who you are. You're doing what you want to do. And yes, the government is supposed to provide certain things like education to someone. We shouldn't even be paying for college in America. In Denmark, have you noticed? People are happy there. Education is free. Healthcare is free. Even the royal family goes to the same hospital they go to. Everyone is equal. How about that? What can we do to fix our country? And yes, indeed, Republicans, it is our country, not yours. You're talking about the take our country back. It's not your country. It's God's country, and we all are a part of it. Whether we're immigrant, whether we're black, brown, Chinese, Indian, it doesn't matter. We chose to come to America. And lots of us, I guess, could actually go back to where we're from if we choose to. But what is the hate for? What is it for? Aren't these people here? Lots of them are doing good things for the economy, opening businesses, doing their work, are hard-working people. Why do we hate them so much? But we don't have to wonder, because we see the Republicans hate their own if their own has succeeded. So now we just need to stop talking, seriously, because we just can't figure out why there's so much hate. A mom who, and before I even get to that mom, I want to get to something here, because I truly want to, does it really matter if someone is gay? I'm not endorsing homosexuality or people who are of the same sex getting married or anything. That's none of my business, really, because I'm not going to be standing up for anyone's judgment when God comes back to this earth. Yeah? You know, you're responsible for yourself, basically. But are we so small in our thought process that, say, in Virginia, the previous government made it okay for employers to fire someone if they found out they're gay? Why do we need to do that? And so the Senate voted on that yesterday, but I'm telling you, when it goes to the Republican House, it ain't going to go. It ain't going to fly. Because remember those 144 that wanted the government to stay shut down? I suspect those same 144 want you to fire someone, even though they're a great employee, just that you find out they are gay. That cannot be right. Whether you believe or you accept homosexuals or gays, as some people call them, well, it doesn't matter. Why would you want to fire someone because of their sexual preference? And how are you finding that out anyway? Yeah, some people just look obviously that way. But why would you want to fire someone? I just, you know, what would they call it? Edna? It was just strange to me that people would actually seek you out, whether you're good at what you do or not. As a matter of fact, we just saw a journalist who was a good journalist in Russia got fired because he was tired of hiding the fact that he was gay. So is that a good thing or a right thing to do? As a people, as a country? I'm not so sure. I really don't think that can be right. It is not right, I should say. Someone is good at what they're doing and you're going to seek them out and fire them just because of their sexual preference. Wow. So should we then be firing people when they cheat on their wives? Like some of those Congress people and other people, senators? Should we be doing that? Well, I guess they fire themselves because they then have to resign most of the times. But to know that someone can be fired because of their sexual orientation is just crazy. So let's see what the Republicans do when the bill goes to the House. I guarantee you it's going to be dead there. That's just my little prediction. You think they're going to want that? Just the way they have the immigration bill sitting down, their only interest in life is to grill anyone that has anything to do with Obamacare and its failure, or its debacle, or whichever word you want to put to it. Oh yeah, they can profile and everybody can be seen at these hearings in Congress. Is that all they were elected to go to Washington to do? Somebody please let me know, because I didn't think so. I thought Congress was supposed to make laws and figure out ways to make people have jobs and, take care of the infrastructure so it doesn't, when we drive over a bridge, it doesn't fall down and we go into the water. And, they should be fixing the grid system, and they should be fixing things like, so that when hurricanes come, we can, weather the storm a little better. And they, yes, should provide health care. And they, yes, should provide education for free. So what is and I still insist on asking you, why do all those Republicans and Tea Partiers hate government so much, headed by Rand Paul, Senator Rand Paul? Ted Cruz, he seems like he hates government so much it's spewing out of his eyes and his nose and his mouth, and his father, Raphael. Why do they want government jobs? Please let me know. If you hate an industry that much, you should not want to work in it. My golly. So we found out that a 6-term congressman and former paper mill worker hoping to unseat Maine Governor Paul LePage next year in the 2014 elections, he's announced that he's gay. So should he now be fired from his job because he's gay? Ouch. He's calling it a whisper campaign. So in order to squash the whisper, he decided to come ahead of the whisper and tell you himself that he's gay. He doesn't want anybody whispering that he's gay. He wants you to know from his lips he's gay. So he announced. So what are you going to do, people in Maine? Are you going to fire the guy even though he might be good at what he does and he's the best candidate for the job of governor? You're going to kick him out because he's gay? I guess we'll watch and see that one. Wow. So, U.S. Representative Mike McHowd, he's 58. He wrote in an op-ed provided to the AP, the Portland Press Herald, and the Bangor Daily News. Well, he certainly did his job. That whisper campaigns, insinuations, and push polls attempted to voters to question whether he's gay. So in quotes he said, "Allow me to save them the trouble with a simple, honest answer. Yes, I am." But why should it matter, he asked. As he wrote in the op-ed that was published this week, this is just wow for me for this week because it ties into the whole Senate bill that was voted on yesterday to ban employers from firing people because of their sexual orientation. The Democrats' announcement adds intrigue to a tight three-way race with LePage, the Republican incumbent, and wealthy independent Elliott Cutler. A poll released in October suggested that Michaud is about even with LePage. So I'm not so sure. Is this announcement of being gay, ending the whisper campaign, is that going to put him in the lead or is it not? Wow. Well, let's see, because Cutler, who is the rich guy in the race, who finished second to LePage in the 2010 election, is touting himself as a better alternative in a state where unenrolled voters comprise the largest voting bloc. So, should you be fired from your job if you are found out to be gay? You didn't come out yourself either. It's a whisper. What do you do? And that employee is excellent, does his work very well. You're still going to get rid of him or her? I think that one needs an extra thought, don't you think? So, there's a mom who killed her 3 children by drowning them in Nassau County. And since that, the father of the children sued and got $350,000. Now, the mom who could not be sentenced or tried because she claimed she was insane when she drowned her 3 children, pleading insanity, I don't know. She wanted to profit and to get some of the $350,000. And I was watching this one because I wanted to see what the judge would do. And the judge, Edward McCarthy, said absolutely no. She should not get any of that money, because if we can't prosecute her based on the fact that she's insane, so why should she now profit from this money for the children's estate? Thank you, Judge McCarthy, Edward McCarthy in Nassau County, for saying no. And I hope there's no reason to appeal or any foolishness like that, because this woman, you're going to kill your 3 children and then want some of the money? I think that's a little ridiculous, don't you? And a little wow for this Friday. It is indeed Wow Friday, and that one wowed me too. So, George Washington University was kind of caught because they're, introducing something new, which is called affirmative action for the wealthy. So if you are wealthy and you apply to go to George Washington University, you will be allowed to go there because you can pay for the fees. As opposed to the poor person who might just be smarter than you are, but they can't afford the fees. So instead of giving them $40,000, the school decides to give merit scholarships to the wealthy and let them get the spot. What do you think about that? But in Oregon, they're trying something new, and see how that's going to work out. What they're doing is asking you to enroll for free, get everything for free, but once you leave and you graduate and you get employed, you have to pay the school back at a 3% interest rate, I guess, for as long as it takes. That somebody said 24 years or something like that. Is that a better plan? Or should you just be getting free education no matter what, whether you're rich or poor? And then when you work, you can actually pay some taxes and you're not burdened by your debt. You can actually come out of college, get a job, buy a property, pay property taxes to where you live. Doesn't that sound like a win-win situation to you? So Oregon, we'll see how that works out. Because I wonder, after people get their free education, yeah, they're going to sign something, but are they going to be paying that money? I'm not so sure. Because, people tend to, when they get things, they forgot how they got it. So, anyway, we'll see how that works out. But George Washington University, shame on you. So you don't want affirmative action for the poor or black people, but you want it for the wealthy. Wow. Maybe we should all examine, is that the reason why our children got admitted to these colleges? Because they figure we can afford to pay the fee and not by merit? Shame! Education should be free. Wow. That's a tall order anyway. Anyway, in line with all of that, the best school system for you, if you're looking to buy a house and you are a young family, looking for the best schools to send your children to public school, and you're a young family, as I said before, and you're looking for a house to buy, here are the places that they're recommending that you go, because you'll get more for your buck. Ohio. Rocky River City, Oakwood City, Chagrin Falls, Madeira City school system, and Wyoming City, all in Ohio. They want you to go there because they have great school systems. And if you like Wisconsin, you can go to, I think it's Caterburg School District, McGow, Thiensville School District. That's in Wisconsin. Minnesota, you should be going to Matomidi School District, Delano Public School District. And if you're in New Hampshire by any chance, Bedford School District is where you need to buy a house. Is this something that we really should continue to do in this country, or just try to make the schools all better? Should I be just buying a house here because the school system is good? Why is it that all the school systems are not good? Isn't that the question we need to be asking ourselves? Why is it that we throw so much money at the school systems that are supposedly better and leave the ones in the minority neighborhoods to just die, basically? Because when you see the photographs of some of those schools and the things that the students have to go through at some of those schools, you're really shocked. Are we living in America, the supposedly richest country on the planet? And we can't even provide good schools for our students to go to? It's kind of divided on where you have the money to buy a house and which school district is better. Wow. Another wild story for this Friday as we welcome you again to the Diana Wright Show Live, and we are going to take a break before we get to the 12-year-old in Texas. Yeah, we're going to get to that, and I've actually gotten myself into the task on MSN of defending my point of view. So we're going to take a break and come back in just a moment. And someone actually replied to me, so we'll share that. We'll be back in just a moment. Hello everyone. I am just asking you from around the world and in the United States to partner with the Diana Wright Show, sponsor the Diana Wright Show, or advertise on the Diana Wright Show. To do so, please call 561-228-1921. Remember, April 30th, 2014 is International I Love Me Day. I want you to start thinking about what will you do special for you on that day. Share it with me on Facebook and Twitter, and join the conversation on the Diana Wright Show, Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. We are live. The number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Join the conversation, like us on Facebook, and follow me on Twitter. Okay, we just made a technical mistake there just now, but anyway, we'll continue with the Diana Wright Show Live, and we thank you so much for joining us today. It is indeed TGIF. Thank God it's Friday when everyone seems to go to the restaurant because they're so crowded on a Friday night. You have to join long lines. I refuse to do that. I will only go to a restaurant if I go on a Friday to ones that have no lines or short lines. Seriously. I don't think the food is any better. Might just be cheaper at the ones with a long line. Okay, all right. So the 12-year-old middle school student in Texas, Governor Perry, had just gotten his breakfast from the cafeteria when an employee took it from him. This is not the first time this has happened. We've read this kind of story before, but it's just shocking to me each time it happens. So an adult employee takes the lunch, the breakfast from the kid, throws it in the garbage, and sent him to class without food. Now, wouldn't it be better, which is what I said on MSN, if that adult either paid for the food for the child, or let the child eat the food and then sort the money thing out, as opposed to wasting the food And someone actually took me on and said, oh yes, it's because of things like this why our country is going to hell. Seriously, people? You rather waste food than give it to a child who obviously his mother must be either struggling or poor and does have a refrigerator, Mr. Sean Hannity, but just didn't get to putting enough money in that lunch account. So how do we kind of decipher this? I think we've just become a country of haters and people without love and compassion, seriously. And we do believe that we must kill the poor and talk bad about them like the Republicans every single day, because if we do that and if we don't increase the minimum wage, they'll just stay poor. And if we don't help them out with SNAP, even though they have a job, but they just can't have enough because they don't have a living wage. So why do we do things like this? That's of course because his meal account was short 30 cents. And don't forget, he's also on reduced price meal that morning. So it's obvious that his family is struggling financially, because if he's getting reduced lunch, you can only get that if you're struggling financially. The boy's mother, Jennifer, says the school's policy needs to be changed, and I agree with her, because she doesn't think kids should have to start their day hungry, nor should they be embarrassed with a public meal thrashing in front of their friends. So just imagine how humiliating that must be for that 12-year-old to be snatched a tray out of his hand because he was 30 cents short. I don't care what public party you are, how rich you are, or whoever you are. You could think that this is okay. And somebody actually took me on MSN, I'm telling you, defending this policy. Hello? Are we people of God? We love to talk about God bless America. And we love to talk about we are conservative and you must not have abortions and you must not use birth control. And if Mr. Cuccinelli had won and become governor, you could be fired if you're gay, because he would just have continued the other governors, Mr. Ethics Problem Governor McDonald, who did not think it was wrong to take a Rolex watch from one of his donors, and his wife on a shopping spree, courtesy of the donor. Oh yes, but we should pull the breakfast tray from a 12-year-old who obviously is coming from a household that has financial problems. That's just heartless. Lack of compassion. And my golly, we have no love. We've just become a nation of haters and envious people, as we see in Rand Paul and Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz. Envy, jealousy consumes us because Barack Hussein Obama is the black guy who won twice and occupies that house that we think is only for white folks like Mitt Romney and Ann Romney, who thought it was their turn. Who are we? This is shameful, seriously. Tell the child we are going to feed you, she says, but go to the office and call your parent and let them know that you need money. Could it even wait until the child gets home? Or couldn't someone from the school call the parent and let them know? Whoa. Wow. Sending a child to his class hungry and then waste the food, because you can't give it to someone else because he's already handled it. That's one of the laws. Let the kid eat the food. My God! 30 cents? What is 30 cents anyway? What can it buy? You're still short 70 cents for a dollar meal. And then the school said the employee who pulled the tray from the 12-year-old was just following school policy. So school policy, I guess there's no adult policy. There's no thinking policy. There's no, come on, use your common sense here policy. Wow. And before I go, I want to share this with you because, you know, if you were like me who buy bananas, you would be concerned about things like these if you buy bananas. So I bought bananas, as I sometimes do, and then I get online and I read a story like this, which kind of freaked me out. So Concy Taylor was halfway through a banana when she saw a white spot on the skin, which you sometimes do, which she thought was a patch of mold. That thought is gross enough. But then the spot burst open and baby spiders started scurrying across the fruit. And there's where we threw up in our mouths a little. That's what the story says online, yes. This British woman, this happened in England, but can it happen in the US? You have to now be careful with your bananas? The British woman told the staff at Sainsbury's supermarket about their spider-infested offerings of bananas. What did the supermarket do? They gave her $15 worth of coupons. But when she sent a picture of the spiders to a pest control company, things got really scary. Taylor was told that those unwanted little nasties could be Brazilian wandering spiders, which have been called the most venomous spiders in the world. What do you do when that happened? According to Sky News, which, you know, Sky News is, I think that's, what's his name's, Fox's guy's place in London. Those particular Arashans can be extremely aggressive. And a bite from them can trigger, hear this, loss of muscle control, breathing problems, paralysis, and eventually asphyxiation? Sainsbury not only apologized to the family, but put them up in a hotel and paid their entire home to be fumigated. So apples are pretty great this time of year. And I love apples. I've been eating lots of them this week. Shall we be buying bananas or shall we not be buying bananas? Poor bananas. Bananas are really good, you know, because do you know that when you eat a banana, it's actually a wholesome food? The most wholesome food that you can eat is a banana. Not my words. You can check it out. So if you are loving bananas, just watch for the spiders. And while you're at it, apples are plentiful this time of year. And we should always be eating the fruit that's in season. I can't wait to see some good persimmons because I love them and I cannot find the good ones. I used to be able to find it in a little fruit stand, but now it's been taken over by corporate people and I no longer can get them. So persimmons that are so bountiful and plentiful in California, we have a hard time finding them in Florida. You see them, but it's those ones that are hard and just never seem to get ripened. No. So we'll have to leave it there today. Until we see you next week, right here on the Diana White Show. We thank you so much for joining us today. We are working on some interesting guests for next week. I will tell you who they are. I won't give it away, but they are quite controversial when it comes to homosexuality. And there's a song in Jamaica called Slam. But if you dissect the words of the song Slam, you won't be liking that slam so much. So while you party this weekend and you dance to the slam, just think of the words that are in slam. We'll talk about that next week sometime with a guy who is quite controversial. We thank you so much for joining us today. If you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. Please give the Healthcare ACA, Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, a chance to work. Pray for the president. He needs your prayers because I can see he's totally overwhelmed by how his baby rolled out. And give yourself some love. And wherever you go to worship this weekend, just remember you're going to worship to praise God and not for all the other things that we go to church for. We don't go to dress up to see which outfit we could afford to buy this week and who's wearing what, and we're looking for a guy, or are we looking for a girl, or are we looking to use the church folks with our multi-level marketing scheme. Let's go to praise and worship God. And if you're doing it in your bed, make sure you worship really good. And don't forget the magic words, whatever you do. I love me. The day for celebration, April 30th, 2014, will be our second year. We ask you to join us. Thank you so much, and be blessed, and be safe.